Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Building Trust Masterclass. What are we doing today? We are building trust so that you don't actually have to sell and feel yucky because you're a selling seller who sells things, right? Doesn't that sound much better? Yes, it's going to be a fairly interactive class, so feel free to drop questions in as we go. I'll try and find time to answer them. And of course, we'll have Q&A section at the end. We have the amazing Hayla here who has very bravely brought her work for presentation so I can pick at it and improve it and make it better. And right at the end, I actually have something cool to share with you that I have been working on in my enormous amount of spare time. so why don't we get stuck in? Enjoy the ride, as I say. Either drop your questions in to the chat or save them until the end. Whatever works for you, we'll make our way through it and it's going to be awesome. So let me just get this set up to present because there's like 3 buttons to click and then we'll be on our way. Okay. Now I'm going to share my screen and it's all going to be amazing. There we go. Okay, here we are. It's Trust Day. Doesn't that look pretty? I love my colors. I love them so much. So building trust, the art of connecting with your audience so you don't have to sell a thing. That's what we're here to do. Selling feels yucky sometimes when we don't have the groundwork set up. So let's move forward. Maybe tell you a bit about myself first. My name is Lizzie Macaulay. I am a launch specialist copywriter. I'm the founder of the Get It Done movement and the chief copywriter over at Write It. I'm a try-hard tennis player. I'm a mum of 2 tiny but very charming lunatics. I'm a cynic, lover of dresses with pockets, including today's dress, because who doesn't love pockets? What's the point of a garment without them, right? And I'm also a terrible cook, but I try really hard. So that's, that's a bit about me. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you're watching us on the replay, well, lovely to have you in retrospect. Cool. So trust. What happens when we build trust? Trust is the highest form of human motivation. It brings out the very best in people. Losing it or not having it in the first place makes life a bit difficult, especially as a business owner. It feels super, super freaking great when we have it. It means we can be our genuine selves. We can have genuine conversations. We don't need to worry about feeling judged. We can truly connect. And when it comes time to ask for the sale, if that phrase is unfamiliar to you, you definitely haven't worked at Flight Centre like I have in a previous lifetime. The conversation comes from a completely different place. It comes from a place of ease, right? Rather than, oh God, I don't know if I should ask. Why do we need trust as business owners? Well, the online space is kind of a labyrinth of chaos and the occasional mistruther, shall we say, for being generous and kind. So it's hard to navigate through picking out who is for real and who is trying to take advantage of you. So building that trust and being your authentic self is a really powerful place to start from when you're building an online business. Building your reputation as someone who's knowledgeable and genuine will help you stand out, get noticed, and create a business that's truly enjoyable to run as well as to be a customer of. Who doesn't want that, right? Good. All right. So how do we do it? I'll take you through these step by step. I'm just kind of giving you a bit of an overview of what we're going to be covering this morning. First, we need to offer value. And before you go, yeah, but what, but how? I've come across this phrase a whole lot. There's more to it than just, giving lots of handouts and things. It's really about, well, I'll tell you in the next slide. I'll hold off. I've jumped my own gun there. So offer value, be present and available, embrace your imperfections. And anybody in my group currently will understand that I am living my imperfections at the moment. And I'll tell you about that later. Detach from the outcome and then repeat repeat, repeat. Be consistent in doing that, and you will do just fine building trust with your people. All right, let's jump in. So, offering value. You want to share your knowledge so that you can be recognized as the expert you already are and help the people in your orbit to grow, which is kind of the point, right? If we're not delivering transformation for our customers, not really much point moving forward. You know, like we're all doing things that deliver transformation. So it's just about doing that in a way that is kind of a value exchange, I suppose. You give them value, they give you money. Or whatever it is that you need. Maybe it's referrals, maybe it's a build-in reputation. All of these things, regardless of the size of value exchange, are all massively important, and it's a reciprocal thing. It's not like you just give, people take, and there's no reciprocity to it. So keep that in mind as you go. It also helps you build your own confidence in your own messaging. So all these things are massively important. You know, I'm sure it's not just me who has come across the phrase "a rising tide lifts all boats." So it's a massively important thing to keep in mind, that it's not just of benefit to you, it's not just of benefit to your audience. Both of you working together is super important as far as offering value. And if you're concerned about giving away all your intel, that's probably not the most productive way to look at it. It's kind of a bit of a scarcity mindset of like, this is mine, I'm going to hold on to it, when really what you should be doing is sharing with abundance, being generous with your knowledge, and building a rapport that builds trust and gratitude. And of course, really, ultimately, there's a very big difference between knowing something and putting it into practice. They're really, truly not the same thing at all. So don't worry about that. Don't get caught up in that. Can you hear a really loud motorbike going past right now? It's very timely, right? Okay, fair enough. It's just bothering me then. That's good enough. All right, cool. Be present and available. Now that is sometimes easier said than done, but what really it looks like in a business that's running well is blocking time into your diary to do all the things that build trust with your audience. So and knowing then they are able also to know to rely on you in those moments as well. So, you know, it's got to be in a way that works for you, of course. So blocking time into your diary to interact with your socials, to respond to emails and deliver what you said you would. Being true to your word is the most valuable thing that you can do as a business owner. Say what you do, what you say what you do. And if this is a struggle for you, look into automating as much of your business as you can without it feeling like robots are talking for you, right? Because the robots sound robots, but something like email sequences is a really strong way to connect with your people, get them to understand a bit more about you, get them to know you more without you having to do too much work. That's kind of a set and forget thing until you need to update them, which is a conversation for another day. If you need help with your automating of language, just reach out to me and I can absolutely help you with that. Emails and email sequences is one of my favorite things to do. So yes, that will be an upcoming topic for a month down the track, but not today. Cool. All right. This is what being present and available does not look like. It does not look like shifting your boundaries, forgetting them, overstepping the mark with yourself, spending every waking hour doing all the things, having no boundaries and burning yourself out. It's not that, okay? It doesn't mean being all things to all people all the time, because you know that doesn't really serve you, and it certainly doesn't serve your clients to be kind of self-reliant as well, which is what we want to encourage them to be always. Just don't do it. And this is coming from somebody who is a chronic boundary forgetter. So you know, it's not that long ago that I was, Hannah will tell you, that I was working at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, 7 at night, either end of the day. Weekends, I was working 7 days a week. It didn't serve me. It didn't make my work better. It just doesn't work. So please be present and available within reason, within the times you set for yourself. It's a massive, massive thing to keep strong boundaries and be true to yourself, of course. Right, moving swiftly forward. My favorite, the most timely of trust tips is to embrace your imperfections. You know what? We're all human. Of course, anyone who's in my Get It Done group will be all too aware of my little foray into imperfection this week, which led to my Facebook group having a tiny but not insignificant typo in it, which has kind of sent me into a spiral and had a really interesting reaction. Is that people like me who maybe haven't done the inner work yet were like, oh my God, that's so mortifying. I really feel for you. Well done embracing that and turning that into a positive. But oh my God, no. And then the other half of everyone went, yeah, so it's been a really interesting learning experience from that as well. But also, it's a great little cautionary tale that I can use because I'm human, because I am imperfect. I can use that later and go, well, you know what, life happens, you know. So I did a bunch of research for this, and I was going to hit you with all sorts of statistics about how real outperforms without question perfect every time when you're looking, especially at social media. Real always works. But what I was surprised to discover, I don't know if anybody else is aware of this, but what it's so effective now that influencers are starting to perfect imperfection. So they're building imperfection into their posts, into their imagery, into everything that they do, so that they're conforming to this idea that they're these perfectly imperfect. It's what would you call that? It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy or something. It's very confusing to me. Like, we're imperfect enough without having to curate imperfection, right? It kind of confirms my argument for being imperfect, but also kind of destroys my faith in humanity a little bit, which is, you know, a problem for another day. Let's see, we got a comment here. Sincerity, yeah, I can fake that, says Sally. Yes, quite right. For everyone who Sally joined us first, Sally is sneakily watching while she's at work, which I am all for. I am a big fan of multitasking. So well done, Sally. So suffice it to say, if your makeup isn't perfect, my notes say something weird, whatever. If your makeup isn't perfect, you flub your lines like I do and just did then and do all day long because I'm a writer, not a talker. If you accidentally hit send on an email with a glaring typo, what do you think I'm going to say? Welcome to the club. It means you're human, right? So be cool. It's all good. People don't care as much as you give them credit as well. That's something to keep in mind too. Just set yourself free from being perfectionist, because it's a hard old life. So moving swiftly forward. The next one, detach from the outcome. So this is a big thing to get used to, especially when you're kind of in a sales environment, is that you really, really want to make that sale. You really, really want to do a great job. You want this person to become your client. You want them to get into your orbit. You're possibly like quite keen, let's say, very enthusiastic for the sale to take place. But that can be that kind of nearly desperation quite feeling can be smelt a mile away. So what I would do instead, Amara says, this helps me breathe a little better, knowing I can still be good at what I do and make mistakes. Yeah, yep. We all do. And it's really important that we give each other a little bit of grace on stuff like that, because you know what? It's not easy to be as perfect as us, right? It's not easy to be perfect all the time. Yeah, so detaching from the outcome, being focused on it really doesn't help you have a genuine conversation, build rapport, build trust. Instead, focus on what's in it for them rather than what's in it for you. You're thinking about, you know, the bills you've got, putting food on the table, the pressure to succeed. This is all kind of stuff that I'm quite sure it plagues all of us from time to time. However, if you're looking at the alternative, then we're starting to talk about how they will benefit from your amazing knowledge, talents, insights, gifts, all of that. That's what, like, and they get that transformation. We've been talking a little bit about the transformation, selling that, and talking about that and building the trust through transformation rather than, you know, it's good, buy it. Which is less of a strong strategy. What people do is out of your hands, and either they'll take you up on your offer or they won't, and that's totally fine. But if you're trying to control a situation, that's going to be really easily felt. So, you know, try not to. Lindsay says mistakes are good for the algorithm, and we do love a bit of algo love here, don't we? Yes, we do. Yes, thank you. All right, now repeat the final step. Well, I have maybe a sneaky extra one, but repeat. No matter what it is you say, think, or do, make it consistent. And this is my biggest, highest high horse I could possibly give to you. Find something to take a stand for and stand for it completely. This is how you stand out as an individual, especially in such a congested space as the online space, is that you need to carve out your space and claim it as your own. So taking a stand for something is a really effective way to do that. If you believe in something, make it part of your brand. Create your community around a cause, a set of beliefs, personal interests, and just own it. So whether that is monster trucks or eco, I don't know, not washing for a year. Let's go with that. Just for, you know, it's very unique. It's very distinctive. And you just got to walk your talk. Like, if you believe it, bring it into your branding. If it's part of your personal life, why not make it part of your brand? Because as business owners, our brands are personal, right? We are our brands. We are our businesses, no matter what that looks like. So that's what I would be advising as a starting point. If you believe in something, make it your brand. You know what? And also, it's kind of more interesting, right? It's way more interesting than trying not to offend everyone or anyone and please everyone and just be nothing, right? You blend into the background when you're trying too hard to be all things to all people. It's just not going to work for you. By being consistent, no matter what you're consistent in, right? Again, doesn't matter. You start to build a loyal, like-minded audience. Your brand becomes recognizable for these specific attributes. And it's not just stuff like, oh, these are nice colors, because they are very nice colors, but there's more to my brand, there's more to your brand than what it looks like, although that comes into it. And here's some ideas for where consistency comes in and how you build trust through consistency. Consistency can be tone. It can be your branding. So tone, like tone of voice. How do you speak? What do you say? Do you use colloquialisms in your day, but your writing sounds very stiff and formal? Do you, are you kind of cheeky in life, but you know, it doesn't translate onto the page? Things like that are important. The timing and frequency of your emails or your posts is something to think about as far as consistency goes as well, because people start looking for it. They look forward to your Wednesday 5 a.m. weekly motivational something, you know, like whatever it is, keep at it. People start looking for it. Get in the habit of doing the thing at the same time every week. or every day or whatever it is. Sometimes the length of content, maybe you get known for becoming the short, sharp delivery person. Maybe you get known for having long form blogs that are highly informative and super, super valuable. Who knows? Let's see, behavior. Being consistent in your behavior is probably one of the biggest ways that you can build trust and build like-mindedness with your audience. So that means everything from your customer service processes, client experience, all of these things build that predictability and that rapport with your customer. So let's say your branding tells your audience that customer service, for instance, let's just use this as an example, that customer service is your highest possible priority. But then let's say that's all pre-sales, post-sales crickets. They never hear from you again. They've got your money and then thanks very much. You never hear from me again. Does that really resonate with somebody who values the customer experience? Not really. So what are we doing to be true to our words and be authentic and surprise and delight our customers and be consistent in what we're saying, matching what we're doing? Something to consider. Erratic anything diminishes your authenticity and your connection with your following. Just out of interest, does anybody here on the call do anything specific in the way that they, what am I trying to say? They match their words to their deeds. Is anybody doing anything in particular for that just now? You're welcome to jump on mic too. And if not, are you going to now? Feel free to unmute and chat, or you, oh, shy girls.
Out there.
Go, Hannah.
Oh, no, you go first. You go first. You go first. No, you go first.
So I had I house sit and look after people's houses. That's full time. And I did actually do a group up for that, deleted it ages ago. And now I'm actually realizing that I can probably start that up again, which I have.
Nice.
So now the walking, the talking is, I think, the consistent posting, which I have not been doing.
Perfect.
It's been rather random. So yeah, that's probably a pickup, which I didn't realize was tagged to trust. Not that I'm going to be selling anything on that, maybe not yet. It is for it, but still, yeah, I didn't realize that consistency would be tagged to trust.
Well, breakthrough. We've learned something.
Thank you. Yes, I can go home now.
Amara says, I believe in a no script sales call. Ooh, that would, like, yes, that is probably the gold standard. I would, like, I'm getting hot. Like, I'm getting real sweaty thinking about that right now. So Amaris, please come and do all my sales calls for me. Hey, now, what were you going to add as far as consistency in words and deeds?
I think it's more like, with my socials, I have not done that lately, but I know that's something that I need to do. And obviously, like, things that I want to bring out. So and like, I want to start this new group. And so I know that I have to, like, set up a schedule and time that, like, if I'm going to say I'm going to do that, like, go on lives or something like that, that I'm going to have to do it.
Totally.
So that is like my goal for this week, to set up a schedule for that. And so, yeah, so that's what I'm going to do and stick to it and just.
Amazing.
Not say it, but do it too. So,
well, that's it. Like, it's really, really easy to say stuff. It's not quite as easy to follow through is the thing. So if you can't follow through, don't say it in the first place is the thing. Like, that's like the key, is just don't say something, don't commit. And manage expectations in that way. Well, and that goes back to the boundaries as well, is like, if committing to that thing is going to end up with you in a tearful puddle at the end of your bed at the end of each day, that's probably not going to benefit anybody. So just be clear about what energy you have available to you, what you want to commit to, and then commit fully to it, rather than kind of this, well, I really want to do it, that'd be good to do. Like, it's not enough. Amara says, Sally says, my kids tell me I get enough endorphins from planning the things. So I don't have to do the thing. Yes. Oh, kids, they're a lovely bunch. Oh, yeah. Okay. And I think I have a bonus little something for you as well. Oh, yeah. Have fun with it. That's kind of the most important one, is that what are we doing in business if we're not having fun doing it? If it's all horrible and it sucks and it's taking our energy, then we are in the wrong business, and it's time to reassess, and it's time to think about how else we might be able to make things run so that you can enjoy yourself, your customers can enjoy themselves, and it's all just a great big fun thing to do. That is kind of where I'm up to with that for myself as well. I like having fun. Amara says, my kids would say the same if they understood how to form complete sentences. Geez, would they just grow up already, Amara? Don't care that they're under 5. It's not the point. Yes, so that kind of, that's the end of the building trust bit. Is there, I'll let questions come now if there are any questions, any thoughts, comments. Feel free to unmute and come on and have a chat. Oh, I'll stop sharing because I just started sharing the next bit. Anybody got anything they would like to add? Okay, cool. That's cool. All right, well, then we'll get on with the bit that I like to. Lindsay, did you have something you're about to jump in on?
I was going to just quickly say, after my last week of craziness and hitting some goals, consistency for me, it's really just showing that consistency is key.
Yes,
it's so big in terms of, like you say, showing up when you're going to say you're going to show up, being present. I did a live yesterday where I had a load of people. I basically just offered a PDF that I was talking about, and I had so many people. I got inundated, and I feel like I'm still going through that now, trying to get that out to people. And like you're saying, doing what you say you're going to do.
Totally. But see, that's a tricky one, like especially if you don't anticipate how amazing something's going to go, which is like a great problem to have, right? Like, hooray. But then you maybe got to build these parameters, these sort of expectation management parameters before you start, so that you can fulfill your promises. So even if that means express your interest and I will get it to you within 48 hours, then that gives you that wiggle room. And if you get it to them in an hour, they're like, oh my God, she said like a day, I was going to wait for that, but here it is already. So it's better to, what is the saying? Over deliver, under promise, over deliver. And if you over promise and under deliver, then we got problems, right? Great. That's well done. I'm so pleased to hear that things are going so well. It's so well deserved. So great job, Lindsay. Now, Miss Hannah, it's time for you to step up, my friend, and let's look at your work.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and I wanted to add to what Lindsay was saying, that it's true, like consistency, because I had like a big break in my business. Yes. And then it took me a whole other set of time to even get my mojo back. Totally. So because it's in the now, it's just like, it took me a while to be, okay, what do I need to do? And then only the other day I was like, I'm just gonna do it. Like, and then now it's like setting that up. It's a lot better rather than, because I was like, it's gonna happen. And I'm like, no, it didn't. So it was like, now I just have to do it. So just wanted to add that to what you said.
Yeah, because there's a little bit life by design, but it's also kind of like things just happen too. So we've got to find ways to make it all work, I guess.
Correct. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, that was fun. hope we trust each other more now. No trust falls. I told you there'd be no trust falls today, especially as we're all in our individual places and we'd all just fall down.
Yeah.
No one to catch us. All right, so let's have a look at your
Yeah, my loveliness.
your work.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting one. This isn't something that I see because I work with worked with you over the years. This isn't something that I would ordinarily work on as a first thing. So this is really interesting. This is like pre-sending your business out into the world stuff, which actually ties in great, seeing as we're all about launching here these days. So you're just really digging into the nitty-gritty of who are you, what are you doing, who are you serving, all the right back at the start stuff, right?
Yeah. Because you know me, like I was like confused and blah blah blah, da 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 da. You know, that I went through all of that. And you
what
know,
a summary that was, though. Hey,
and so I'm taking this program because I knew that I really needed somebody to do to me what like I would do to others. You know, it's like looking at yourself is a lot harder. And then when, you know, I'm in this group and then that was like one of the first things. It's funny because like you hear that everywhere. You know, you have to tell them like, yeah, you need to pound down this and this. But now because I do know what I like and what I do know what I don't like, it's like really resetting everything for me. And because before it was so hard for me to say, you know, I help CEOs because I like, to me, it was just it's really hard to swallow for me because I was still newer in the space. But then now, like, I'm more confident and I went through that whole like shift of like, I'm going to freaking do it. This is where I'm at now. And so that's why it's like really honing down who I want to help, why I want to help and all that. So that's why, yeah, you're right. Like, I really took it way back.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is awesome because now we can watch your progress step by step, building back, changing, like, because you God love you, you've changed direction a good few times, which has been great.
Yeah, I did.
This is all part of the journey, right? We got to figure out what we love. And again, it goes back to having fun. If we don't love it, what's the point? So totally. So it's funny that you say CEOs. Like, let's talk that through. Because CEOs kind of has a really specific corporate kind of feel to it. Is that what you're going for? Are you?
That's the thing, is because like one of the ladies have also suggested, you know, like you hear a lot of people say, oh, I help certain amount of figure women in business, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to go that route.
No,
because it's like I don't because I want to do two things. Like I want to do this and help women that's already running in business. I also want to help women that are new. Like that would be more of like the OBM stuff and the other thing I want to do. But this one is more like in a different scale because they already have a team, they're already going, but it's more of again that overwhelm. And so I'm not quite sure. I just don't want it to sound, that's why it was really hard for me to swallow. I don't want to sound like every other person.
No,
because
totally.
you know what I mean? Like I'm not girly. I'm not like, you know, I mean, I'm a girl, but like I'm not girl, I'm not like very like, you know, I love everybody, but I'm not the one to use like very like lovely or honey kind of words. I'm more like, what's up?
No, because Hannah's like, well, in your own delicate phrasing, you've got like just the slightest hint of ghetto to you, which I
yes, I do.
Phrasing. That's not mine. That's yours. I'm your words back to you. So please don't clutch pearls.
Oh no. That exactly. That's what I mean. Like, and that's what I'm trying to like count down because I think there's a lot of space for women that are kind of like more in my element, I guess. Yeah. But it's just that I haven't really seen that out there because you see a lot of like, you know, the sweethearts and the honeys, but I'm more like, yeah. So that's why I'm trying to just stay to me because it's going to be really hard for me to call somebody sweetie or honey because I don't even say that to my children.
Like I already like get a bit something about that. Don't do that. Like for you, that's just not applicable. Dude. I would say that. I'd be like, all right, dude, so this is how we're gonna go. All right, bro. Yeah, but yeah, basically to see but that's the thing, you know, I'm not good with words in regards to this part and like marketing myself. Yeah. So yeah, that's why it's really hard for me. So yeah, so CEOs, I think that's just the placement of what I want the scale of. Yeah. But maybe it's not the right word. So I'm not quite sure. So like I get how women in business kind of undersells it as well. Like just if you're a woman in business, like the scope of who that could be is very broad. you know, like I totally get that what you're looking for is somebody who's the boss, essentially, who possibly has people working under her, would you say? Or not necessarily?
What do you mean? Sorry. I don't.
So
sorry.
like, would she have staff, for instance?
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's
yeah.
so the scale of the business is such that it's not just a one woman operation.
Correct. Yeah.
Cool. But it's also not necessarily corporate or.
Yeah. No. So it's more like, because what I really gone into as well, it's like, you know, more like they're very creative women where there's just like they got a VA or they have a team.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to name names, but like there's this company, I'll just call them a company that she has, and she has a staff of 4, but then the staff of 4 has no idea what the heck they're doing. But then at the same time, her staff some of them are experienced, some of them are new, but it was just more because she's growing such a large scale business. They want to help, they want to do things, but nobody knew what the heck they were doing. So it's just kind of like that. Those are the ones I want to help. And then everybody's still doing everything manually. So it's like a lot of, but they're making money, but it's just wasting a lot of money as well in regards to like the time being spent on things that don't have.
Sure. Do you think that you absolutely must have it be gendered? You know,
No.
You
Well,
know,
I mean, yeah, it could. It doesn't matter. I think it's just because I work easily with women, like in the online space. It doesn't have to be women.
I just think, thanks so much, Lindsay. Lindsay's away.
Yeah.
I've missed her saying goodbye, but like replay goodbye, Lindsay. I think there's a couple of potential issues with specifying female as well, especially if you're just as happy to work with men as women potentially, or your branding does the speaking for you and it's particularly feminine, or you don't really care. One is that you're really excluding non-binary or sort of potentially like a whole audience of people who neither subscribe to like female or male. And that's something to be aware of as well. But also like you're cutting the other 50 or whatever % of people as well. Like if you're open to working with men, so like essentially it's like I help overwhelmed business owners who like running a team is kind of the fundamental of what you want to do. I think for your personality as well, Hannah, I don't think you necessarily need to stick with women. I think you get on with everybody equally. You know,
that's true. I think it's because I think only because like I've only been working with women on the online space, and then when I tried to do with men, it was different. But then at the same time, you know, it was only not even maybe like 3 or 2 or 3. So I can't speak that that's all of it. That's true. I never thought about it like that.
So put it this way, you know, just because you're not talking, well, I mean, even if you leave it open to whoever coming to work and you only attract one sort of person, so you know, I think we get caught up in gendering everything, and that's kind of an interesting trap that really help. Anyway, let's look what else I help. Overall female. So I think business owners running a team, maybe, or something around there, you know, because we're talking about the high level operations, upscale their business, upscale how? They're through team management processes and systems. I think we can gussy this up a bit. Kelly says the thing with using the term CEO is that certainly in the wedding industry, they are all calling themselves CEOs because they are the boss, even if like me, they're sole traders. Yeah, that's totally fair too. So yeah, I suppose it's just got particular connotations. Thank you, Sally, for including that. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I like that. I didn't think about it like that either. I think it's just I used that because that was the word.
Well, I mean, think about like keep it if you want it as well. Like I'm but one person. And also, just for the love of God, please do not use the phrase CEO because I may just not be a friend anymore.
Sorry, that was funny. No.
Sally
Sally said
says
barf.
barf. Quite right. So I like even struggled to
No.
let the word out of my mouth. So like
Yeah, I would never do that. I'd probably put overwhelmed. Well, I'll probably use other words rather than, that's
yes.
funny.
And Jenny says no. So like,
Yeah,
we're all on the same page that this is not our audience for like lady boss or no, let's not boss babe.
Yeah.
We're not boss babes in this universe. We are strong, capable women who want to run our businesses without delineation between, oh, goodness me. Like, let's just not. What a mess. So upscale, is that what they're doing?
I guess not really upscale. It's more they're already scaling, but is it more like if I'm going to do it as like a whole sentence, they're already scaled, but they're troubled in their scale. Like they're getting stagnant because it's like, or it's getting too much, or it's kind of like, it's Ithaca, the supply. See, she always comes right when I start.
Hey, so good.
The supply and the demand is like not there. So they have the demand, but they don't have enough supply.
Cool.
I don't know.
Why don't you I mean, it kind of helps that we've had a conversation outside of this moment that I really love the idea of calling you something like an operations architect, right? I thought that was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Was super on point, different and recognizably so as different. And then if you're using the word architect, then you start to talk about design, right? Design the business they always wanted rather than the one they've got is kind of where you're going with it, right? So, design, like redesign is kind of it. Redesign and grow their business. And don't, like if this is your like unique mechanism, if this is your USP, this is what makes you stand out. You don't need to talk about the methods here, like you can talk specifically about the outcomes. So their business. Whoops, I pressed the wrong button. Imagine that, me pressing the wrong button.
Happened twice this week now.
Just twice, only twice. I help. You could release their overwhelm. So I help business owners running a team redesign and grow their Interesting, because we can't have business twice, so that's a pain in the bum. Goodness. Their operations to effortlessly scale and reach new something. Do you think, like, is part of it that they're trying to reach new audiences, new levels of satisfaction? What is it, do you think?
I guess it's just more the next height. I mean, it's just kind of like, because as I was talking about like the stagnant thing, like they're doing that. So I don't know, like the next step.
You go.
Like, yes, go.
So something like that. So I help new business owners running a team redesign and grow their operations to effortlessly scale and reach new levels of performance.
Like that.
That's close. It's not very like loosey goosey Hana that I know. So it's maybe, Crystal's all for boss babe. Sorry, Crystal. I will. Sorry, Mars. Maybe talk to you later. We are a welcoming bunch, and we will allow you to spite your choice of words. It's fun. Yes, business owners running a team redesign and grow their operations to effortlessly scale and reach new levels of performance. So it's a start. This is our opening gambit, right? It may just help frame what you've been thinking about for your
Yeah.
and because what we don't want to do, we don't want to undersell what you do, because it's flipping amazing. As someone who has experienced what you do, I can testify to that. But also we want to be clear about the outcome of working with you.
Yeah.
And the benefit. What is their life going to be like because they've had the opportunity for you to come in and work your magic and leave and have their business be amazing as a result.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that, like, even if it's not exactly that, maybe that gets the cogs turning for you on where to go next with this.
Yeah.
I would strongly advocate for maybe not necessarily using gendered language here. I don't think it's necessary. I think your branding is very neutral too. It's very accessible to everybody. So I don't think, you know, it really makes sense to cut your nose off to spite your face there. Like, you just lay it all out and see who comes is what I would personally be looking at.
Okay.
Are you open to that, or am I just telling you something?
Oh, no. My biggest thing is just that's all I've worked with in the online space. So it's just like, but mainly I've worked with men as well. Like, to be honest, that's I mean, like when I work in other stuff. But either way, like I guess my biggest thing was just more because I don't know, maybe got trapped into that. Like that's all I did was with women, and so I can't say, you know. But I do get along with men. Like
I can see you working with dudes and just being like, no.
Yeah,
what we're doing. I could see that working, and then just going, okay, that's
that's true. That's true. No, I like that, but at least it makes. And I mean, that's probably why I got like the whole logo thing. It's still kind of, it's like half. It's not like manly, but it's not like the color's a little bit more feminine, but it's not super manly. So just kind of because we talked about that too in the creating that stuff. So okay, I'm not like opposed to it. Like I would never. Not that I would never, but I get it. Like,
some dudes are a pain in the backside, which we all know, but you know, they need whipped into shape sometimes, and who better than you? You know?
Yeah. That's right. I just okay. No, I think I'll keep reading, and then I think in the next couple of days, like as much as I keep going through it, and I think that would be good. But that literally, I feel like this is the foundation for it all. So it's good to just get that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm excited.
I really like the operations architect as well, especially placing in there I redesign, you know, so it's just kind of like
it works together. Yeah, it works. Yeah, two different elements that complement each other. Consistency. See?
Yeah, exactly.
It's setting that into motion. And I mean, we've seen strategists, we've seen consultant 4 million times. Look at that beautiful baby, by the way.
She's
my wonderful shiny thing. But operations architects, I don't know, show of hands, anyone seen that before?
Okay.
No? And that really indicates that you're starting from scratch and building strong, beautiful foundations. Very unique seminars too.
Yeah.
So thank you.
That's true. Yeah. And I think that's what, and you know what I mean, like I'm not I can't really put myself in a specific bubble, and that's one hard thing that I've always had. Yeah. So I think that makes it really different as well. So that's good. So
Perfect. Well, I think, you know, mischief managed for Hannah today. So we've done super well. We kept it roughly to time. So the last thing that we're going to do, Sally says, as a partner, Ooh, interesting. I get narky about things too. Sally says, as the partner of an actual architect, I have to say he gets really narky when people use the term outside of his profession. And he's also autistic. So you know what? That's like, we embrace the neurodiverse community and all their amazing nuances. So Hannah, you might need to take it up with Sally's husband if you do go that way. I'm not going to be the arbiter here, like arbitrator. You guys have a moment together. You phone him up and say, listen, Mr. Sally, I'm going to use this title, and I know this is going to bother you, but you don't know me. Yeah. Sorry.
No. Oh, that's so funny. But I mean, I'll play with it, but I really like that, the whole, like, that's what I was trying to explain earlier. I said architect, I mean it as like they're just designing, they're not building.
No. Aren't there other versions of Mrs. Dummy, right? But aren't there other like web architect type people? Surely help me out. Like there's other versions of architects, right?
Oh, it says, yeah, computing, a person who designs hardware, software, or networking.
I love that you Googled that.
I had to.
Maybe Sally's husband should take it up with the entire online profession as well then. Say, you guys, you stole my title. I worked 7 years at uni for this.
Yeah.
I'm all for using the term poke the bear.
Yeah.
My kind of lady, Sally. Right. Mischief managed. I'd better push on because you guys have places to be. I have places to be, but I didn't want to finish up without telling you what I've been working on recently, which is something really cool and close to my heart. If you enjoyed watching us work together, good old, my very fine friend Hannah and I, who we have known each other for a long time. We have done a lot of work like this together, and I always ask her lots of pointy little questions that make her flinch a little, but we make progress every time. If you are enjoying this work and you can see yourself getting some help just like this, I'm going to show you what I've been working on. Hopefully I left it at the right spot on the other page. Let's see. Get it done, the check-in. So what I'm hoping to do is build a membership and a really strong community, a space where you can bring your work for someone like me, or no, specifically for me to check over and interact with and give my feedback on week in, week out for the rest of your life. Well, as long as you continue your membership. So we can do it monthly, we can do it yearly, or we've got the fabulous VIP experience where you get to have 30 minutes a month with me, just like Hannah did, for life. Amaris is laughing at me. I'm an optimist. What can I say? So if you're interested in getting my help long-term, or even just for a month, just to see how it goes, I have information for you, and I'm going to send that out to everybody who signed up for the webinar today. It's going to be amazing. It is the thing that I love to do most in the whole wide world. As you can tell, it just sets me on fire. And what I love best is seeing you all make progress and do more, and not sit on it and wait for it to be perfect. You have the confidence to know that you can kick it out into the world and it's going to do what you want it to do. So that is my teeny tiny pitch for you. We have now had a value exchange like we talked about earlier. Hannah says, so much freaking value. I love you, cheerleader friend. So it's great. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're up to. Please go check out the info if that is something that would interest you. And if it's not, that is fine. I will forgive you. Amara says she's signing up. Oh, I will take that. Oh, and Hannah too. Oh, see, it's like shooting fish in a barrel or something. I don't know. Anyway, we're having a great time, and that is the main thing. And that is the experience that you will also carry through into our private group that we will have for the check-in. Cool. So unless there are any other questions, I'm pretty sure we can all go back to our lives and have a beautiful day. Anything else to add, anyone? Oh, Sally says she loves me. Ooh. Thank you, Sally. I've had a great time. Thank you so much to everyone for coming. Thank you so much to anybody who's watching on a replay. I have a call in 3 minutes, so I better go do that. Have a great week.